beautiful people, it's your girl Frankie here, and today I'm doing a part 2. Okay, we're doing a part 2 of things I wish I knew before going into the operating room. Let's talk about it, because a lot of times these jobs, they not gonna tell you until you're like halfway through training or towards the end of training. Yeah, I wrote it down on a piece of paper because I will forget some of this stuff. So we're gonna talk about it. So starting off very, very strong. Early starts, yes. So this is usually for the 7 a.m. crew. I work 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. For my shift, and this is for them. So if you work from 9 to 9, 11 to 11, 9 to 5, anything after 7, this does not apply to you, okay? Only for the 7 a.m. crew. Early start is a line we have to call to see if we have to start earlier than the time we signed up for. You heard that right. The time we signed up for is 7 o'clock. I picked the shift to start at 7. However, if there's a room running and a surgeon feels like they want to start their case at exactly at 7, you might have to be at work at 6:30, 6 o'clock, 6:15, 6:45. That's crazy to me. That's mad crazy to me. Okay, why I gotta be here earlier than what I signed up for? I don't like it. And you have to call this Monday through Friday. The weekends don't count, so Saturday, Sunday, you just start at 7, automatically. But if you work Monday through Friday or any other weekdays, you have to call the night before. So the day before, after 5:30, they put up the news. I guess it's like an automated system. So the lady will say, oh, room 6, Johnson and Westbrook, 6:45. You know what I'm saying? It'll tell you what time you need to be there for the next day. So I absolutely hate it. I don't like it. It's something that you need to consider if you're thinking about doing the early morning shifts. Because in my mind, up in here, if you got surgeons that want to start earlier, then y'all need to hire earlier shift people. Hire people that come in at 6. Hire people that come in at 6:30. I shouldn't have to be here earlier than 7. Okay, I don't like it. Which brings me to the next point. Your shift, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, does not mean clock in at that time. You need to clock in at the beginning of your grace period. We get a 7-minute grace period. I need to clock in at 6:53, and you have to be in your room. Okay, let me say that again. They want you in the operating room setting up at 7 o'clock. Not walking through the door at 7 o'clock. Not clocking in at 7 o'clock. They want you dressed, ready to work in your operating room exactly at 7 o'clock. Or 6:30 if you early start. 6:45, 6 o'clock. Whatever time, they need you to be there ready to go at that time. So we can clock in 7 minutes early. So the earliest I can clock in if I start at 7 o'clock, which is my shift, is at 6:53. I can clock in and we good, right? Between 6:53 and 7 o'clock, I need to be getting my, caps on. I need to be getting my mask. I need to get my surgical attire on, and I need to be in the operating room that I'm assigned to, which they usually have a schedule by the time clock. And on the weekends, we just go to the nursing station. You need to be in that room at 7 o'clock, logging in the computer, putting people, putting your name in that's assigned to the room. That is what they mean. Yes. So be aware of that. They're not going to really go through all of that at first, but usually halfway through training or end of training, they are going to talk about that, and you have to be prepared for that. So a lot of people that I know, they do the 9 o'clock shift because it's not an early start, or they do 11 o'clock shift. But 7 o'clock shifters are subject to early start. Not saying you'll be an early start every time, But because my hospital is very short on workers, we are early starts a lot of the time. And I feel like that is just not right. That is not fair. I signed up for 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. If I wanted to be here earlier, I would have signed up for an earlier shift, which they don't offer. But I'm just telling you, they need to offer it, because no, it's not. That's not where it's at. So those are the first two things. We started off strong. For the third thing, fellowship training. So if you are a new nurse transitioning to the operating room, they have something called fellowship. Or if you're a new graduate nurse, or a nurse that just never done that field and you're switching, you might be able to do a fellowship. And with the fellowship, what I have learned is that fellowship training varies. Okay, they're not going to tell you this, because companies, they try to switch things up. They try to save money, save time. Like, no. So your fellowship may be shorter and or longer compared to somebody else's fellowship. So what I learned just talking to coworkers and things like that is that when I started, we had a lot of pregnant women. Like, a lot of people about to get ready to have babies around Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Like, when I say like I can't even make this up. Like, every other woman in there was like pregnant. It was pregnant women everywhere. Okay. I don't know what was going on, but the thing in my hospital was don't drink the water, because it was so many pregnant women, and they always have due dates similar, like really close together at the end of the year, or either January-ish. So that was the thing. So my fellowship was from July to the end of October. And by November, I was on my shift, and I only got like 2 weeks of training for that. And then they just threw me on my own, which you can't learn too much in that time. I'm not going to lie. It's very overwhelming, and they throw you anywhere. We talked about that in the last video. Now, another girl that I talked to, she said she had 6 months of training from January to July or June. I think it was July. But her training was way, way longer, and she felt supported. She felt like she had the the resources that she needed. She felt more comfortable once she got on her own, and they would randomly like put her in training just to shadow or to watch or to help, just so she can get familiar with different things and be exposed to different things. So her experience was completely different from my experience. My experience was very chaotic, because they kind of rushed us out there because they needed workers, because they were going to like not have any soon. So they hurried up and threw my class out there, and the class that started after my class, they hurried up and threw them out there too, because they again needed workers, and they were trying to just fill a slot. They didn't really care about the training, or if we were really understanding what it is that we're supposed to be doing. So just be very aware of that. And if you feel rushed, definitely tell them. Will they care? I don't know, because not only was I expressing my concerns, but my classmates was, expressing their concerns, and nothing changed. They did not care. They would just throw us out there. Needless to say, I think it's only me and 2 other people that actually are still there. Everybody else has quit. So just keep that in mind, okay? Because no, they were not, mind you, new nurses or nurses that's never done this before being rushed in 3 months. Like, that's like, no. If you get into this field, or if you are operating room nurse, you know what I'm talking about. When starting the operating room, they will convince you to be full-time. A lot of jobs, of course, they want full-time workers. They want that guaranteed 3 days a week with the same schedule. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Do part-time. If you are in a contract, or if you decide to sign some type of contract saying, oh, after the fellowship, I will work 2 years for you guys, or 1 year for you guys, whatever it is, do part-time, because a lot of them contracts do say, oh, you can't go under this many hours or this, whatever, basically part-time. If you still need insurance and all that good benefit stuff, just do part-time. You still get the insurance and benefits. However, you're only required to work 2 days, like 2 12-hour shifts, or depending on if you're doing 8 hours or 10 hours. That varies, but I do 12 hours, so I'm gonna speak from 12-hour point of view. You only have to do 2 12-hour shifts, and then you can pick up extra shifts and get paid like double. So it's like you work like 4 days when really only work 2 if you pick up 1 extra shift. Like, make it make sense, okay? I think a lot of people don't talk about that, but make it make sense. Work smarter, not harder. I tell everybody this, okay? It's better to do part-time than full-time, and I'm gonna stick beside it, okay? Really, I would prefer to do PRN. However, when you are at some of these jobs, some of these hospitals, PRN is just not an option for at least 1 year. I've encountered that where, you know, you want to go in as PRN. They're like, oh, you have to work here for a year in order to do PRN for this particular company. And then sometimes if you sign a contract, you cannot do PRN because it does not meet the required hours that they are requesting you to have, if that makes sense. So just make sure you understand all of that and talk to the company about that if you are a PRN girly, which I feel like is the best option, even though it doesn't include like insurance. You can still get your own insurance if you need to, or if you have a significant other that has insurance, get on their insurance. But PRN, you pretty much just make your own schedule. And I'm all about making my own schedule. So if I want weekends off, if I got something coming up, if I got a trip coming up, I could just not schedule myself to work and I have no penalties. I'm out here. I'm outside. Okay. But the next best thing is part-time, where you only do 2 days a week. And if you want to make some extra money, go ahead and pick up some extra shifts and get paid the incentive and whatever else money. Pretty much you're going to be making, if not double, but half the double, whatever you want to call it. You're going to be making way more by picking up 1 extra shift as your 3rd day. And it's going to look like you worked 2 extra shifts because you're getting paid like double. Do that make sense? I hope that did not confuse y'all, because that can be confusing. But yeah, so those are kind of some things. I'm trying to think anything else. Those are kind of some things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. If you guys want a little bit more detail, go into more stuff, we can do that. But as of right now, like, those things right there was a shock. Because who coming in early? Who want to be here earlier than what they signed up for? Like, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. But also be aware that when you are on your own and you are setting up a room and you're reading these physician lists, like basically all the supplies and all that stuff, and it's like a packet. It's like a little packet, and it'll tell you, oh, they like this. These are the supplies and equipments that they need for the surgery. This is the medication they want for the surgery. And this is the glove size they wear. This is what they like on their mail stand. This is what they like for this. Blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, those physician lists are wrong. So if you do not have a scrub tech that's in there that works with that physician a lot, or that is very familiar with this procedure, your day gonna be chaos, because you're gonna be ripping and running for some of everything. And then you have some surgeons that are not so nice. So then they get upset because it's like, oh, you guys should have this, you guys should have. No, you did not update your pick list. So therefore, blame yourself, because we only are going by what is given to us. So just be aware of that. Don't let it get to you, because it's going to happen. That's just the nature of the operating room. However, yeah, I'm telling you right now, 9 times out of 10, that stuff is not even right. It's just not right. Okay. However, operating room is not necessarily the job, is the people. Like, and I'm not talking about the patients. The patients are great. Like, no problems, no issues. It's usually the staff is where a lot of the times people leave the operating room because one, they don't feel supported. Two, you have just people that are assholes for no reason, surgeons, co-workers, whoever, that makes your job more difficult than what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it comes from. It's not, people do not necessarily leave because of the job. They leave because of the people at the job. So a lot of the people in my fellowship that left, it wasn't because the job was difficult. It was because the people were making the job difficult. So any questions you have for me, definitely comment them down below. Give this video a thumbs up, share it. Like, I'm here for it all. Anything else you want to know, just ask me. We gonna talk about it, because I'm gonna be real with y'all. Because baby, these workplaces be having these nurses effed up. They already don't want to pay. And my motto is, hey, you can't treat me bad and pay me bad. Like, you can't do both. It's one or the other, or I'm gonna quit. I'll quit in a minute. That's another motivational video for another time. But I tell you right now, baby, you can't do both. You ain't finna treat me bad and pay me bad. Pick your poison. But you think you finna do both? Deuces. See you. But anyways, y'all, so until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.